What does the runway look like for your retirement strategy? Stay tuned. Well, welcome to this week's edition of Note School TV, where every week we bring you, the most amazing guests, will not disappoint today, as well as the most amazing content. A few things before we do get started, and that number one is please make sure and hit that like button. I know we have so many people that watch every episode, but sometimes you forget to hit that like button. It means a lot to us. Go ahead and do that. If you have not already subscribed, make sure and do that. We're coming up on our third anniversary here the first week of October, and we'll do something a little special for that. But yep, Eddie and I have been doing this every Wednesday at 11:05 Central Time for the last 3 years, and then finally hit the bell notification so you will be notified when we go live every Wednesday at 11:05. Also, again, make sure and send us your comments, guys. Please send us your comments. Eddie and I read those. Yes, we sure do. We go through every one of those, and we enjoy hearing from you, hearing what you have to say, the perspective in your market, and all of that. And then also, if you would like to learn more about what we do at Note School, simply go to noteschool.com/TV. Again, noteschool.com/TV. And we would love to have a conversation with you about, how you can get involved and learn more about what we do. And we would love to have you at one of our 2-hour master classes. We'll talk a little more about that at the end of the show. So this week, we've got a special guest this week, but our special guest is inside Eddie's office with him. So I'm going to go ahead and do the news, and then I'm going to bring Eddie on, and he is going to bring on our guest. So in the news this week, this comes from Biz Now, and it's a great article for those of you that have a lot of interest in what's going on here, and that is, the regional banks, it seems. The Wall Street Journal has been doing a lot of, analysis on what's going on in this space, but the regional banks' commercial real estate exposure is certainly more substantial than it appears or was thought to be. So banks in total, this is a big number, guys, have roughly 3.6 trillion, that's trillion with a T, of exposure to real estate, commercial real estate, which is approximately 20%. Yes, 20% of the total deposits there inside the banking system. And here's the kick, right? Small and medium-sized banks. I know I always kind of laugh, Eddie and I do, when we're talking about the small banks, which are, less than $250 billion in total assets. They held about 3/4 of all commercial real estate loans at the end of the second quarter. And so this, guys, you hear a lot about office, and you hear not quite as much about multifamily, but multifamily is going through some really interesting times right now, some difficult times, and we'll probably talk a lot more about that in the monthly update when we do that at the end of the month. But some more to come on that. But here's the bottom line: as fundamentals in some commercial real estate markets erode, banks will face a period of shocks as borrowers default in higher numbers, right? And the banking pain will would further depress lending. So again, our message to you is that if it's harder for individuals, right? And this flows down to individuals borrowing to buy a house, right? And if lending gets more depressed, that means that's where, every time we've seen a black swan event in history, we have seen that seller financing becomes the key for the folks that are just missed as far as going out and being able to get a loan. So good news for us when you know what you know, and we stay on top of this and we'll stay on top of this for you. So with that, well, I want to bring on our chief visionary officer, our fearless leader, founder of Note School, my friend, Mr. W. Eddie Speed, and our guest today, well, Captain Tom Force.
How you doing, Joe?
Doing very well, guys. You looking good there in the office today.
Yeah, we're fortunate enough. Tom lives close, and so he comes by and hangs out with me a little bit sometimes, and is willing to come do these interviews for us, which we're very appreciative. You referred to him as Captain Tom Force. He is an airline captain. And you used a little catchy Runway reference there.
We did, didn't we?
Because you are sunsetting your professional career as a pilot.
Yep.
But you've really entered the note space in what I think is a smart way. And I want to talk about that today and talk about kind of a little bit of your journey, where you've been, anyway, I think you guys will find a very interesting story.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to let you, Eddie, you and Tom, visit a few minutes, and I'll see you guys in just a bit.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. All right. So you came to Note School.
Mm-hmm.
It sound better than other real estate aspects.
Yep. In fact, I found you on a podcast for another educational provider. I was looking, as we all know, cash flow is king. I think as Warren Buffett said, if you're not figuring out how to make money when you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And so been doing that all my life, looking for different ways to cash flow. And you were on a podcast about 2 years ago with another provider, and it clicked. I said, I've got to look more into that. And the fact that you're right here in my hometown of South Lake made it real easy. So I was really intrigued, and the story goes on from there.
You know, when Joe was doing his news segment, you and I were talking offline. We always say that when banks are struggling, notes do good, right? Now, the banks weren't struggling 2 years ago.
No.
But banks are really struggling today. And this is going to be, and we said that, right? While Joe was doing the cash, this is us. This is our time. Yeah. But you entered the business even before then for lifestyle purposes.
Absolutely. It was right about 2 years ago. And my family is all involved in real estate. I've got real estate agents. My wife's an agent. We flip. I've done a lot of just about everything, involved in syndications. And we had just finished a flip and sold that. But I was also facing the end of my career. And actually, I won't get into it, but I wasn't going to get vaccinated. So I was facing that decision, maybe even a premature retirement at the time. But I just knew that I didn't cash flow, and cash flow is everything. And so, like I said, I found Eddie on another podcast, and I said, I've got to check that out. I've got money sitting on the sidelines. I'm very risk adverse, which is great when I'm in the cockpit. But when it comes to investing, maybe I overlook opportunities. But I dove in and I saw notes of wealth, and I was surprised because I hadn't heard of it before. And as I've taken my journey over the last couple of years, I find out that it's still a pretty well kept secret. I teach about it now, and we'll get into that. But people say, how come I haven't heard about this before? But like you said, now is our time, because when traditional lending sources dry up, then notes come to the fore, and we've got kind of a storm going on right now. So, but that's why I came. Basically, I was looking to put my money to work in a way that I could provide security for my family, grow some wealth, but do it in a way that I could sleep at night. And notes has certainly been that for me.
Well, a pilot knows a little bit of something about being risk adverse, right?
You would hope so. Yeah.
The old saying, right? There's old pilots and bold pilots,
but no old bold pilot.
Because the purpose of investing is to invest in something that says we're going to get our money back and get a good return on our money.
Right.
And so I think that's a good theme for our business. Tom, we have an event coming up here in a month or two, and you're going to be there. and we're going to have a lot of people there, 500 plus people there that are going to be talking about how to make notes work, how to make it a very part-time business so we can have a lot of our time back, how to work in it in with a full-time job, which you've done, or how to go do it on a full-time basis. And let's play that commercial. We'll be back here in a minute. We're going to talk about Tom's strategies and what he's learned to really like about this business. You guys listen to our story about Note Expo.
We are at Note Expo.
It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
It's
just fantastic.
It's like recharging my batteries. I get enthused again. I meet a lot of other people in the business. I get a lot of ideas.
Connections. I've made so many friends over the years of high-level investors, high-level business people.
You get out here and see people who are doing things on a level you're not there yet. So that inspires me.
It's been a great event. Lots of good people, lots of opportunities to network, lots of education, and the vendors are great.
Meeting all the people here from all over the country, wanting to know about notes.
And then the networking is just
all
crazy.
the people has just been stunning.
It's like coming home to a family. And there's a lot of smart people here, and everybody's welcome in. It's always good seeing familiar faces.
I'm sure it's going to empower me and lead to much better growth.
And there really is no other place you can go to figure out what's going on, like in the guts of the industry.
We're already registered. So.
We have put our money down.
All right. Note Expo. You going to be there?
Absolutely. It was my first exposure to notes after I joined Note School in 2021, and it catapulted my whole business. And so I bought the ticket for next year when I was there last year. So I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. We're going to be there. I hope you are there. If you're interested in notes at all, I can safely say that is a place to be, to come learn and see and talk to other people in the business and see what all this conversation is about, Tom.
You might see who Note Investor of the Year is also.
That could happen. That could happen. All right. So I want to go back to Life Decision. You have been very entrepreneurial in various aspects of real estate. I know your family. They are very competent in various aspects of the real estate business. So but you're a full-time pilot,
right,
and you've done this on the side, and your family does it. Very impressed with all that. And you forged out and you said, I want to go down another path a little bit than what we've traditionally done. Why did you say that?
Well, there's a couple things, Eddie. First of all, it's my stage of life, in my 60s. What kind of business do I want to leave my family? What kind of business can I create that's not going to take a lot of my time? And originally I got into notes not even looking to create a business. I said, I've got a lot of scared cash sitting on the sideline, just like a lot of people out there, money sitting in IRA or whatever. But, I don't want to get into rentals. I find rentals are a job, although I've got a couple of Airbnbs, but every once in a while they remind me what a pain in the ass they are. I just didn't want to build up a portfolio of things like that. I wanted something fairly simple. And like I said, I didn't even really get into it for a business. I said, well, I could learn about buying these notes, and I can make a one-time purchase, and generally they're just going to continue to pay every month. And that doesn't sound like a job to me. It doesn't sound like a lot of work. And that's actually the way it's kind of played out. Is the notes that I've bought, I've got about 20 now, and there's no headaches there. But I was going to deploy my money to create some wealth and then see where it went from there. And the more I learned about notes, the more I saw how it worked and how powerful it was to leverage time and money through Note School and like the Done For You program that's kind of come along. The business opportunity became self-evident. So from there on out, it's like I can complement what my family does. It's something I can pass on to them. And now what I'm really excited about in the last year or so is being able to build some legacy with the techniques you guys teach about leveraging what we have, getting in there and getting Coverdale accounts started for my grandkids and growing well for them. This is something I'd like to pass on to them. So it's a business, but it's more than just a business. When I think of a business, I think, man, you're sitting there working the phones 9 to 5. You got a marketing machine and all that. And if that's your thing, that's great. If that's how you roll, but you don't need to, because the folks at Note School make it so easy to be in business, but they're behind the scenes working for you. So it allows me to do what I like to do. The money continues to come in. They're my board of advisors. They're my marketing team. And so it's a business, but I don't feel like, I'm working real hard as a business. And it gives me so many different avenues to go through. I've met a lot of great people, and it's actually a lot of fun. I love the community. So as I kind of fade into retirement here in about 9 months or so, I'm looking forward to kind of jumping in full time, just to take what I've been doing, spread it into different areas, and work on growing this for my kids and grandkids, and working with the community some more, because I believe in paying back. And my life looks a lot different now than it did 2 years ago, and Note School's to thank for that.
Well, I truly appreciate that. We hear this story a lot, and we're trying to make sure that we get to talk to you guys and go, find out your why, find out your, like people talk about leveraging it. I'm going to ask you a question, Tom. Mm-hmm. Is it possible to take $1,000 and turn it into $100,000 that you'll never pay tax on with a note strategy?
As many times as you want to do it. Yes.
And so that all exists. We don't know what we don't know until we learn it.
Right.
Right. And so we figured that out a long time ago. That's why we had a school. But to see it then applied in your situation, to see it applied to how you've done it and how you've really bought into it. And I've gotten to meet not all of your family, but some of your family for sure. And see now that you and your wife are looking at it like we can really help our family build legacy, and we don't have to start out with a fortune to do it.
Exactly.
Right?
A little bit at a time. Yep. I just plant that seed. You can do it.
How about a fortune of creativity?
100%.
Yes. That's what you need the fortune of, right? Not the fortune of dollars.
Right.
And one of the things that people tell us over and over and over, Tom, is they want their life back. They want their time back.
Right.
Right. And so you've been in other things. It's not like you don't know how.
Right.
But you figure it out. You're going to trade the biggest gift that you have if you get into some other things, which is you're going to commit a lot of time.
Right.
And so I make a statement. I just want to make sure that you agree with this. I say that you can own 1,000 notes for what you could own 100 rentals for.
Easily. Yes. And how many folks who have a handful of rentals are begging to get more? These days.
Well,
I mean, if you got 10 rentals, you're begging to get 10 more. Or, if I've got 10 notes, I couldn't wait to get another 10. I can't wait to get another 100, because it doesn't take a lot of my time. In fact, on the drive over here today, Eddie, I was thinking, it's like, in a way, this business can kind of be boring. It's kind of like, I check in with the servicer every couple of days. Yeah, everybody's paid up. The checks come in. And it's like, all right, what do I do today? I mean, it can be like that if that's the way you want it to be. There's not a lot to it.
Well, that's what we told you was possible when you started.
Sure did. No, you've been everything you presented yourselves to be, and then some. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know. And the other thing is the community. I don't know if you're going to touch on this or not, but it's a small community, but I feel like it's family. I've met some great people. You had David Finolio and some of the other people. It goes beyond the business here. There's deeper friendships and things besides money. But also within the community, I've got a network of people I can work with. In fact, Friday night I just put my son's sons down. I was babysitting them. Got out the computer, got on the Note School Facebook page, and some folks were right here from Southlake were asking about anybody have a partial, available that they want to buy. And I looked through and I said, well, their parameters meet mine, and bing, we're going to go ahead and set that up this week. So
that's awesome.
By having people in this community, I've got a built-in community of people that I can work with. I don't have to go out and put this marketing machine together if I don't want to. I've got people right here I can work with.
one of the biggest goals that we had when we started Note School initially, Note School was an environment so we could teach people enough, we could figure out how to do business with them, right? So it was there was a selfish reason that I did that. And because I found out if you teach people to go do it the way you kind of know how to do it, then it creates a big network. What really happened, though, is that we built an ecosystem.
Yes.
Right. And that ecosystem, and it's not any different than, you're at American Airlines. You guys have very defined procedures. Every pilot knows those procedures.
Yep.
And it makes things safer, and it makes that's a key thing. And so, with school or with training, you learn some risk variables. These are risks you probably can take. These are risks you shouldn't take.
Right.
Right. And it's just learning those. And it's not any different than really learning to fly. Right.
Pretty much. Yeah. I'd say so.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit. You are very, very family oriented. I've gotten to spend some great time with you and your wife. And I see that we never have a conversation that we don't mutually talk about our kids.
Right.
Right. So we're at that age, and we're looking beyond that. And I'm seeing that your kids are getting more involved with Note School. Why is that? They didn't join Note School with you.
No, they did not. They were very busy with their own real estate businesses. Both boys are very successful real estate agents. My daughter's a escrow officer. She's in charge of escrow right across the street here at a escrow company or title company. And my wife's got her license mainly so she can go out and look at all the flips that she wants to do. And she's a designer. I'm the only one who's not licensed. I've been a licensed agent before, but I'm kind of like the free agent. I can kind of get around and do other things. But I feel like I complement the entire situation because everybody has their specialty, what they're diving into. For instance, Brian runs a Keller Williams team. He also runs he's partners in a capital company that does syndications for multifamily, and very successful. And my son Danny done over 100 million here, and just lives over in Roanoke. Been in for about 13 years. They have their own deal, and so what I want to do is become the expert in the note space. It was proof of concept to start with. In other words, get a couple of notes, make sure this thing works, and it's worked far beyond what I expected it to, and then learn the nuances so that I could teach to them, and through their influence, they can teach it to others and grow their networks in the note business as well. And it's just by exposing them to the people in our ecosphere. For instance, when we went to the mastermind and Brian was there, you can't put a price on networking with people like Kay Thompson and Mike Powell and all those folks. And so I figure what I bring to the table here not only is a little bit of expertise in notes now that I've been doing this a while and I've dove in, but also a community that can help my family going forward, whether it comes to seller financing or create a financing track or whatever they're going to do. I think notes fills a void in their business model because everything's cyclical. Yeah. And right now, real estate agents are really feeling it hard, especially if they've got no other source of income. But this is a good time for us. So it's a good time to segue into that. And so I want to be able to be there to fill in the holes in their business plans or be able to help them find different ways to, have other irons in the fire besides what they do just by selling a house and being transactional.
Of course, we talk about this on the show. Real estate agents have become, and we've had a lot of, new agents, new to Note School, not new real estate agents.
No, very successful people.
But we've had a number of people that have been on here that have an active real estate brokerage. Your son, Brian. And I get to be on his podcast and tell all of these agents about what you guys have. It's old. You're now old school with us, right? So you're used to this, right?
Yeah.
This is new to them, and we're teaching them some of the things that we initially taught you guys, and it's just fun to see. Now we're seeing different age groups, people that never thought they would be interested in creative financing that did traditional real estate. Your daughter is at a title company. Guess what? It's full of people that don't really know what what notes or creative financing can do. And
Right.
and maybe 2 years ago they didn't care because
Right.
they were just all buying rentals and this is great and this is what we're going to do.
Right.
Now all of a sudden that they can run a calculator, they've kind of figured out they got cash flow issues.
Well, I think it's, nobody gets into real estate because they just love having a listing appointment and going, sitting and talking like that. And I know if you've watched Brian's podcast or just you've talked to agents, they don't get into real estate to flip real estate or own houses. It's for cash flow. It's for the lifestyle. And, we see HGTV and all the gurus out there, buy these rentals, do this, and the cash flow will come in and you'll retire rich. But, you and I have been around long enough to know that story doesn't always play out that way. And we're seeing it now. So I think this is why it's really interesting right now. I think you told me once that over 40% of the successful, the high level note school folks have a realtor's license.
Yep.
It's because they want that dream. It's because cash flow is king. And we want to be able to have a lifestyle where we don't have to work every day, where we're not transactional, where we can go away on vacation and not have people calling us up about broken toilets or tenants breaking, things like that. And that's the beauty of notes. I've started a podcast. It's the Worry Free Cash Flow Podcast. Mm-hmm. And I talk about going on vacations and not worrying about my cash flow. Just came back from 10 days in Ireland and I didn't have a single borrower call me about anything. In fact, they never call me. In fact, I don't think they even know who I am. But that's the beauty of it. But I kind of hijacked the conversation saying, I think right now that the biggest thing that I can contribute and what I'm looking for, and I think people in my son's stage of life is they want cash flow. They're willing to put in the work. They get it done. Yeah. But to do it in a way where they don't have to keep nurturing it and worry about it falling apart.
They want their time back.
Yeah.
And so they're looking for alternatives. And once again, because of the economy, because of this banking story, because of interest rates, because of all of this, it's put the good spotlight on the note space. Mm-hmm. And so once again, there's timing. I say this pretty frequently. You can do the perfect thing in bad timing, and it's not near as good as doing the average thing in perfect timing. Mm-hmm. Right?
I say that, yeah.
So timing is kind of relates to the business. So whether if you are a dentist or you're a pilot or you're a realtor or you're a 9-to-5 or whatever that is, right? If you're a business owner and you are at a point where you would say, I want to be like Tom. I want to be the bank and not a landlord. Then I think that's really what you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. And I unabashedly push note school. I mean, you guys have changed the trajectory of my retirement. Joe, the runway is clear. All right. It's not going to be a rough landing. You don't even need a seatbelt for this one. The runway is long and it's lengthy and it's smooth. 2 years ago, I was looking for the same thing that Eddie was just talking about. I was looking for a way to be able to sleep at night. My money's working for me. It's making money and I don't have to worry about all the headaches that come along. I'm getting too old to deal with tenants and the headaches that come with that. And notes have been a solution that I set a goal 2 years ago to have a certain number when I retired. I go in 9 months unless they change the age, and I'm still going to retire at 65 anyway. But I already exceeded that. And through the Done For You program now, which keeps getting better. I mean, Bob sends me a tape every once in a while, says, hey, we got these 9 notes. You interested in anyone? Yeah, I'll take that one. I don't know how you guys can make it any easier. And it's been everything that I've wanted. And I like to pay it forward now. That's why I take the time to do a podcast, tell people about it. And all you can do is come and check it out. And it's not going to cost you anything. So been more than I could have ever imagined. And I'll be grateful. And I not just my mentor, you're my friend now. And
it is. Yeah,
I'm very appreciative that I sat down and watched that podcast that day.
That's awesome.
And hopefully somebody's going to watch this one randomly and say, hey, I want to give it a try. Check it out.
Joe, what do you guys say about all that?
Well, I'm loving it. Love Tom, love the whole, his experience, and we could talk about flying for years, Tom. But several things that you said there, and it just makes so much sense. And we see so many people that come into the note school world, and and they have money sitting on the sidelines and they don't know what to do with it. And, you know, it's, and they want something that they can invest in that's not another job. Right. And then it's stress-free and it's worry-free. And that's really what it looks like. And we do, you know, I always say that we talk about the Note School family and the Note School ecosystem and the tribe, as Ann Morton called it a couple of weeks ago. And it's no BS. I mean, it's the truth. And you just got to come check it out. Right. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you hear him say he set a number for his retirement?
I heard that.
And he's already exceeded it. So that is what I'm listening for as the guy that originally had this dream and this idea. And that is, to me, check in the blank that people are making this work the way they want it to work.
That's right. You know, and again, it's not if you get started, it's you just got to get started, right? Or I should have, or I could have, or I wish I had, or I read it on the internet, or whatever it is. It's just that you do get started. So it doesn't matter whatever stage you are in life, right? And with your son Brian and being able to start now and versus you starting 2 years ago, whatever it is, it's just that you get started and you do something and you move towards that goal.
Well, and Joe, on that point, if you don't mind me interrupting.
No, absolutely.
I do get some feedback sometimes like, well, you know, you kind of had an advantage because you had a pretty good sum of money to start with. And, you know, that's all relative to different people.
It is.
But, you know, if you come and check out Note School, you'll find out there are ways to get started with nothing. It's just like real estate. You don't need a whole lot. You need the motivation, you need the desire, and you need a why. And with those things, you can do anything. But don't let lack of capital do that, because Eddie's been doing this for 43 years. He comes from a humble background. He knows how to get started. And with this team, you just need the knowledge and the guidance, and everything else will fall into place if you have the want to.
Yeah, if you don't have money, you got to bring your hustle shoes, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Joe.
Right.
Got to wear those shoes.
Yep,
that's it. That's absolutely it. You just got to do a few things a little bit differently. But hey, those same folks that are out there, we know that, you know, according to Quest, that at any given time there's $500 million sitting in dry capital, just in their company, right? So there's a lot of capital out there. And if you need that hustle and need to put people together and do deals, then that's a wonderful thing too. So
well, you can find out about the $1,000 trick with Eddie that he alluded to, but you have to come to a master class to learn about that.
That's it. All right, Joe.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate
yes,
you.
Sir. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Tom. Love you, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
All right. I will wrap this up again. Another great episode. Tom had a wonderful airline, in the Air Force, then in the airlines. And as he's winding that down and ready to kind of take the next step, it's an amazing thing, and beautiful family. And guys, we appreciate, you know, you being on here and you hanging in there with us and staying with us and making, almost 3 years of successful shows, and met a lot of great people. So with that, finally, let's see, if you want to know more about what we do at Note School, again, noteschool.com/TV. We would love to have you in one of our 2-hour master classes. And, Eddie is, you are our guest, right, to the 2-hour master class, and you will learn, get a little more depth of what it is. And I hope you loved the Note School, the Note Expo commercial there, and we'd love to see you there as well. So thanks so much. We will see you again next week, same place, same time, 11:05 Central Time. Have a great week.